In this video, we're going to be widening this residential driveway. So we've worked here, made a couple videos here. We put some new septic tanks in for him, and we did some driveway widening already, but he has a motor coach and he's going to be getting a carport back here. He needs just a little bit more room to maneuver that big machine in under the carport. So he's painted out some lines here. We're going to be excavating down to subgrade and bringing in some new base rock and just making this quite a bit wider here so we can make that turn. So let's get to work. So I just started digging along, and there's a propane tank right here, and last time I was out doing this driveway work, it was really shallow. We hit the propane line and they've since buried it quite a bit deeper, but nonetheless I'm going to take time, find it here with the shovel, just verify how deep it is before I start excavating over this area. A lot of the times when you're trying to find an old pipe, you'll notice that the digging might be a little softer right where that old trench used to be, which is the case here. So I just found the gas line. All right, so there it is. Still not super deep though, but definitely worth the few minutes, or minute really, it took just to find that. And I'll go ahead and grade this area off over the top of it. I might pothole and locate the depth over here one more time before I continue on, but just an important note for you guys: find those underground utilities, verify their depth and location, and then continue on. almost got this all dug down here. Just hand digging this last little stretch because number one, it is narrow, but number two, their power comes down and underground through here. So I didn't want to trench right through here with the excavator, but that's what we have dug. The next step will be running the jumping jack whacker over this a bunch and packing it in. So let's get to doing that. All right, just gonna take this edging out of here real quick. Right. Whoop. Oh, that one's bent. Right. Couple on the back side. There we go. Got that all whacked in, and admittedly this is a pretty big surface area for a jumping jack whacker. If I owned a pad foot roller, I'd probably be using that in here. It's a pretty small area, so just spent the last hour and a half maybe going around and around in here. So anyways, got this all compacted. We're gonna call it a day today, be back tomorrow with some base rock and start getting that spread in here. All right, we have our edging board, our new board, almost completely installed here. Have it ran down. We have this little low spot. This is where our drainage is coming through. The sheet flow that's coming off the driveway is just gonna pass right on through and go on down past the jumping jack whacker there. We have our grading machine here. That's a Kubota SVL97-2 with a Bobcat grading attachment on it. We do have the laser set up for it, so we can do very precise grading with that. And we have this road bridging fabric here, which I decided wouldn't be a bad idea to roll some of this out. So we're going to go ahead and roll out a layer of the road bridging fabric. If any of this subgrade gets soft in any future rainy or wet season, that road bridging fabric is going to help support that base rock layer and prevent it from mixing with the subgrade dirt or mud later on. So we're gonna roll that out and we'll be ready to start getting our first lift of base rock in here. So let's get to it. All right, looking good, huh? Get some of that road bridging fabric down, cutting off corners as we need to, filling in other little spots. Well, that's it. Just throw it down, straighten it out. Some people use staples. I think just dropping a couple piles of rock on it works pretty good too. Just keeps it from blowing around. And of course, as always, when you start rolling out stuff like this, the wind picks up, right? So, what do you think, Grant? Let's get that roller unloaded and start laying in a lift of base rock.
You want to pull it back to the back driveway?
I think so, yeah. And rollers here, rocks here. Time to get some rock dumped out. So for driveway widening projects like this, I really like to lay down a good thick layer of base rock. But when you do that, you're gonna wanna compact it in lifts. So I like to go 3 to 4 inches per lift and then hit it with that roller. I don't really care right now too much about what the surface looks like. I just want to get a lift in and get it compacted. And as soon as we get this one compacted, then I can dump that next load of rock and keep that truck moving. So for this first lift, we'll probably roll over it about 3 or 4 times. And you can hear the vibration on that machine. That vibration is helping settle all the small particles of aggregate together, and we're forcing the air out of the rock. And we're densifying that rock so that hopefully there's no air or very little air left between the rock pieces and sand and silt and everything. So we're gonna compact this 3 or 4 times and then lay down another lift and keep going. And so with all the base rock compacted now, we're gonna tailgate and do a spread of the 1/2-inch drain rock to match the rest of the surface. So we're gonna test my skills out here in the peat. I'm gonna get backed up over here and we're gonna see how I do on a tailgate spread. So let's give it a go. that. Just got all the last little bits of 1/2-inch drain rock spread everywhere. We had a little bit extra, so we went up the driveway a little bit further, put a little bit in front of the house for him. But that's it. Driveway widening project complete. And we're just working on getting everything loaded up and out of here. Well, thanks for joining me in this video today, and be safe out there. We'll catch you next time. Over now.